Hi guys, ad1ce here again, and in this video I'll talk about my ice shot builds I've played on a hardcore Harbinger league. I've reached level 99 and could easily reach level 100, but accidentally switched from DirectX 9 to DirectX 11 and my logout macro broke. I've played without remove freeze flask, and at the next map there was some freeze strongbox and I died. Most retarded rip ever. Never mind, I don't want to talk about it, so let's see my gear. At the 3.0, Lionized Glare received a huge buff. Far shot actually means that you deal 30% more damage to the distant targets. So it looks like 7th link with 30% more damage. Also this bow has really good DPS and APS and costs not so much. Personally I believe that this is the best unique bow in the game now. Links are Ice Shot, Elemental Damage with attacks, Cold Penetration, added cold damage, GMP and increased critical. For single target you should switch GMP with the Hypothermia. It gives good DPS bonus and effect of chill. It is good at boss fights. Gloves are southbound with temporal chains on hit, but this is the most latest item for this build. You need them only to increase freeze on bosses. This gloves gives good life bonus and flat cold damage. 50% increased damage for Herald of Ice is also not bad. The disadvantage of these gloves is that you can kill only frozen enemies. So if you do not deal a critical hit, creeps stay alive with 1 HP. That's why I've used Red Nest Helm to maximize my crit rate. You can use any rare gloves with attack speed, life and cold or physical damage, it's also good. Also when you have only 5 ring bow, I recommend to use corrupted gloves with elemental weakness on hit. This slightly compensates lack of cold penetration. Links are Herald of Ice, Frost Bomb, increased area and increased duration. Okay, Helm, as I told before, is a Red's Nest. Pretty good helm with crit rate, attack speed and movement speed. 7k life is enough for this build, so it is not a problem that helm doesn't have life. This helmet is mandatory in case of using southbound gloves, otherwise you can use whatever you want. Links are Decoy Totem, Hatred, Blood Rage and Lightning Golem. Next goes some rare boots with a strength for Chaos Heart and some resistances. Links are Custom Damage Taken, Immortal Call, Blink Arrow and Frenzy. Belt is with elemental damage and resistances. Quiver also with elemental damage, crit rate, crit multiplier and attack speed. Right ring has some elemental damage and resistances. And left ring is Sibyl's Lament. It gives 30% reduced reflected elemental damage taken. So with this ring I have 100% reduced reflected elemental damage taken and able to farm all maps with damage reflections. Amulet is the Pandemonius, but it is also very late game upgrade. I have played with a rare amulet with crit multiplier and elemental damage till level 97 and it was good enough. The Pandemonius needed for better cold penetration. You can feel the difference only on maps with high elemental resistances and on the boss fights. With this amulet and flask I have 91% cold penetration and 76% without flask. So I completely ignore any cold resistance. Okay, let's see my flasks. Life flask with a remove bleeding, diamond flask with remove curses, the Vice of Oak, Taste of Hate, actually it can be switched with a basalt flask, and Quicksilver flask with an additional movement speed. My tooltip DPS in Hideout is 53k, and with flask and charges is near 90k. But real DPS is much higher, because tooltip doesn't take into account diamond flask, far shot and penetration. So real ice shot DPS with GMP is more than 200k. Tooltip DPS with a gem setup for single target is 114k, but hypothermia bonus is not displayed here. As for my defense, I played with Acro and Face Acro. My evasion is low, but it wasn't a problem at all. Creeps usually were frozen or chilled, maimed and cursed with temporal chains. Note that your cold resistance should be higher than lightning and fire, otherwise the Vice of Oak flask will be useless. I have chosen Ascendant subclass with an Assassin and Elementalist. So Assassin gives me very important 1.5% flat crit, good 40% crit multi for first shot, very good chance to get power charges, and useful slow from maim. Pass of the Shadow allows me to start from the Shadow's area on the tree. Elementalist gives me very important 50% reduced reflected elemental damage taken, good 6% penetration, good old conflux with a 6-second duration after you kill rare or unique enemy. It is extremely useful against Harbingers and Beyonds. And second golem, because the first one dies too often. As for my tree, at the beginning I picked life regeneration nodes for Blood Rage. Left part of my tree mainly consists of life nodes, nothing interesting. Jewels are with life, cold crit multiplier and resistances. Also I recommended to start with the Sunder, because this part of tree contains good nodes for this skill. I switched to Ice Shot only after Uber Lap, but if you will buy Rush you can switch earlier, maybe after Merciless Lap. Because you need Path of the Shadow Ascendancy node to start from the Shadows area, otherwise you will need more regrets. Okay, right part of my tree starts from attack speed nodes and Threshold Jewel Omen on the Winds. It's only needed for piercing, other bonuses are good but not important. And part of the tree that begins from the Shadows area looks like a classic tree for elemental crit builds with a bow. Finally, I want to say this is the most favorite bow build I've ever played. It has some problems with a single target DPS on the boss fights, but gameplay is enjoyable and easy. I am very disappointed that I died so stupidly. Most likely this was my last attempt to reach level 100. The game became too easy and boring now. Anyone can reach max level on a hardcore. You just need some minimum skills and a lot of time. I have some fun only playing in party, but right now I don't have any team with a goal of reaching 100. And I'm tired of doing it alone. Another reason is that from December 2013 to August 2017 GGG added only 4 new bow skills. One of them is a totem, another is only for early levels, that's all. I think that I will skip the next league if nothing changes. Anyway, good luck, stay safe and buy more microtransactions, that they will have enough money for making new skills.
It starts with one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away, it's so unreal. Didn't look out below, watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard.
Граундслэм. То есть не граундслэм, ебать, что-то многоразовый, слышишь?
Это что такое было?